6, then it's the light blue car of Steve Soper, who's sharing a head and the number 7 Mustang, the light blue coloured car. Steve Soper, of course, well known to touring car fans. Which is Craig Davis, the number 9 car, his regular mount for these historic touring car races, and a change of lead then, so it's now the light blue car of Steve Soper that leads as we look at, sadly, Christopher Minutes. That's a shame.
Chris Morgan failing to proceed. Andy Priaulx went the long way round the outside at Cops Corner and had third place into Maggots and Beckett, but he's got to do a bit of chasing here. Big lock-up from Steve Soper. Or is it Henry Mann in that car? Must be Henry Mann starting that car, otherwise you wouldn't be able to swap into the other car. Or is it Steve Soper swap that one and Henry Mann's in the other one? Either way, a big lock-up.
It
is Steve Soper, yeah, the red and grey helmet. So Soper with an uncharacteristic error. Now I wonder whether that is him on colder tyres with a bit of oil on the car's tyres maybe, or whether they've got a little bit of an issue. But Soper has the lead from James Thorpe just, and Andy Priaulx will look to try and close the gap, and the battle in front, Alistair, is really going to help Priaulx. Priaulx's not being attacked from behind at the moment, although he has got very close company from the Thomas and Lockie car, but he needs to try and close on these guys while he has the opportunity, and down the inside comes the Falcon.
Julian Thomas, yes, as always, starts his cars, and he'll hand over to Callum Lockie, and Julian Thomas manages to slide down the inside of the rather more experienced in terms of touring car racing, Andy Priaulx, also, of course, the factory Ford GT driver in long distance racing. So Andy Priaulx, huge amount of experience, but what a battle we've got at the lead. Two of the Mustangs coming down into Brooklands, and it's still Steve Soper, just a brief lock-up of the unloaded front left wheel there as he turned in to the left-hander. He goes out wide again. Steve's not happy with that car, is he? He's running wide as a number of the corners, and that's about James go back into the lead. Leading that class, kind of a 170, the Jewel and Klukas car. And if you're trackside, pick a favourite colour, pick a favourite car, because actually that's as good a way as following the racing. It doesn't have to be at the front, it can be anywhere you like. There are some great looking liveries and some cracking battles that you can see in the background there. The Lotus Cortinas, they've got one Falcon in amongst them and a couple of Minis snapping at their heels. But at the front of the field, it is all about Ford muscle, the big V8s, the same engine in the Mustangs as in the Falcon, as in the Galaxy. Now they're all thundering away at the front of the field, these 4.7 litre Ford engines, and it is the car of our pole sitter, Thorpe and Quake, who are just starting to creep away. Here comes the Falcon Sprint of Julian Thomas on the inside of Steve Soper's Mustang, just avoiding contact. So that means that Soper is now falling back into the clutches of that big black car of Julian Thomas. The red Alan Mann car has come squirreling through as well, ahead of the yellow and black car of Andy Priaulx over the curbs there, and there are four of them looking for the same bit of tarmac. Unbelievable. You wouldn't think you could get four big American cars side by side through the loop, but they did it. And
and Steve Soper really hanging the tail out there and trying to stay ahead of this snarling pack behind him. So we've got Craig Davis in the red and gold car in the middle, we've got Julian Thomas in the black car with the white arrow on the front, and we've got Andy Prio in the yellow car with the black stripes, and then the second of the red and gold cars is just behind Scott Davis and Thomas on the front row. He's now back to Julian Thomas has got by in that big black Falcon. And contact from Soper. The one thing you know about Steve Soper is he never gives up. So he will fight this car and all other comers, but it does look like more of a handful. The red Alaman car behind the red and gold number 9 of Craig Davis, and the black and yellow car of Andy Prio do look a little bit more planted, the 99 car. Having said that, you can see the second red and gold car moving around. Prio jockeying for position as well, looking for a way past car number 9. Doesn't get through. These early 65 and 66 Mustangs with their short rear window, the notchback coupe, rather than the longer cars that came later. Harold Shelby developing the GT350 for racing, and the sort of longer, more aerodynamic tail. And these were the original racing Mustangs, and you can see why they were so popular, not just with the drivers but with the fans. Again, multicoloured racing, same car, same engine, but all trying a different way of skinning the cat there in the loop. And there really is no substitute for more power than traction, is there? This is brilliant racing, but from some really experienced drivers, they're all hitting each other in the racing room. Steve Soper did lunge on the back of Julian Thomas, was completely just couldn't get that in back out. Now he's Davis in the mix, and Julian Thomas is starting to pull away in the lead.
And look at the back of that massive clump of Mustangs. You can see the next
I think that might be Henry Mann's car, number 6, who was further back on the grid. So Henry Mann also running Lake Father's team colours, which Henry now runs that company, preparing a lot of these cars. I would imagine they're experts in preparing Mustangs and Falcons and so on. As we get back to the battle for third place, Steve Soper just ahead of Craig Davis, and there are the two leaders ahead of them, and that's Julian Thomas front of shot, then it's Steve Soper, it's Craig Davis and Andy Prio in the yellow car with the black stripes. Let's have a look at some of the smaller engine cars. These are the Lotus Cortinas, so the Mark I Lotus Cortina was developed by Colin Chapman for Ford with the Lotus twin cam engine variant.
very, very effective racing car, and probably one of the most famous pictures you'll ever see is Jim Clark three-wheeling one of these cars through Copse Corner with the photographers standing right next to the track on the inside. And still the Cortinas are giving us great entertainment here at Silverstone Circuit, and it's the number 170 cars a little bit late on the brakes, and one of the cheeky minis nips through.
Because they have to brake later and stop later because there's less on them. In fact, basically, even there in the loop, there he is. They slip down into third again, put flat on the gas, grab it fourth as you come onto the straight, and then put it on those tweaks to come steaming past the escape line. 30,000cc in the Mini and 60,000cc in the Lotus Cortinas, and there you go, that's the difference. But the Minis maintain a much higher corner speed now. I have struck twice already in this race. I was just saying about Alex Russell.
Bill Shepherd,
And here's the Mini, just sneaks around the outside. I mean, it is basically like racing an aircraft carrier. It takes a lot of slowing down. And just in front, going out to shot, the bright blue car that unique in this field is another version, basically, of the Ford Falcon, but with the Mercury badge on the front. The Mercury. Number 69 car of race winner today, Roger Wills.
And still this battle goes on midfield, and the darker coloured Mini, the number 55 car, the dark blue with the white roof, that's Jeff Smith, who you may remember raced in the British Touring Car Championship for many years. Number 55, Jeff Smith, and he looks to be second at the Mini, leading Mini being Aaron Smith, car number 21, the coloured car just ahead of him, and they're mixed in as ever with the Lotus Cortinas, and then Bill Shepherd in that vast Ford Galaxy.
And that's the way it was in the early 60s. You'd have had Gawain Bailey and the likes in the Cortinas. You'd have had guys like Matt Neal's dad, Steve Neal, racing in the Minis, and then you had the likes of Chad Seegers in the big Ford Galaxies. And it sort of depended on the circuit, on the weather, the driving talent available. Came out on top. They were always battling. A very different way of going racing from each of the three cars. Small engine, front wheel drive, medium-sized engine, rear wheel drive, all team breathing on it, and a fast, overpowerful car now. A problem for one of our Mustangs is that.
That's Colin Souter in his orange Mustang with black stripes, looked like he was meant to be Peter Smith's Mark 1 Lotus Cortina battling with Aaron Smith, unrelated Aaron Smith, in the Mini.
Yeah, Walter Smith there, because there are three Smiths in those first four cars in the shot. We've got Guy Smith clearing off in the white Mini, you've got Aaron Smith, and then Jeff Smith in the second of the Minis in that battle. Oh, and a big drift out wide from the pale. That's a great colour, that pale turquoise Cortina. Guy Smith into pit lane.
I think that's the Irishman, is it? Paddy Shovlin, yes it is.
May well be.
Yep, in the pale Cortina, Paddy Shovlin.
Guy Smith diving into the pit lane. It's too early for pit. Oh, it's not too early for pit stop. So, was that Guy Smith who started, or was that who started? Who's coming right at the beginning of the pit window? Either Guy's had enough and wants Peter to do the donkey work, or Peter has done enough and wants Guy to take over.
But it should have been Guy starting that car. That was how it was told to us. It doesn't mean it wasn't changed. And an arc up there on the front right for Paddy Shovlin, and he loses place to Jeff Smith, number 55, the Mini, the dark Mini. That's a car that was not this car, but that colour scheme run by drivers like John Rhodes, John Handley in period, these dark Cooper colours, white roof, car number 55. Now the leading Mini, so where is the overall 12th place overall? That's Jeff Smith. Paddy Shovlin comes back last to again with the attention. Where the Galaxy really comes into its own, and through the corners that the Minis are so much quicker. So Bill Shepherd powers past the first of the Minis, powers past the Paddy Shovlin Cortina, now thinks about, better get the anchors out here because I've got to get this car stopped for Stoke Corner, but he manages it, but Paddy Shovlin slides back through on the inside again. Wonderful racing.
Absolutely fabulous. And actually what's really making me laugh is the noises off that the camera mics are picking up. Just endless tyre squeal from everything out there. These tyres are being absolutely pushed to their very limits. And again, you can see the Galaxy just... No matter how much you try, you just can't do enough to get out of the Galaxy. And this is the end of the goodbye. And again, any half-decent straight, the Galaxy will be right there. A lot of these Minis will have battle scars on them at the end. Jeff Smith in that black car with the absolute period livery of the car company and the little white stripes down the side as well as the silver stripes on the body. The than the Mustang on its fastest lap. There is no balance of performance in this Ford racing, but 13 thousandths between the Mustang and the Falcon, that's pretty close, isn't it, by anybody's standards?
And down the straight